Okay, so good evening everyone. Balik na naman po tayo sa usapang taxation. So I have with me taxation experts, Miss Crivel Atuban,
Hi, good
Rialyn
evening.
Tolingay, Daniel Lida, and Rainilyn Ramos. So
Hello.
let us start with the introduction and the classification and types of excise tax. Miss Crivel?
Hi again, good evening. So I am very thrilled to be here today to delve into a topic that might not immediately scream the word fun, but is nonetheless a fascinating and essential part of our daily lives. We have the excise tax. Now, before you start thinking, oh no, taxes again, let me assure you, this journey is going to be more exciting than finding a hidden stash of a chocolate during a diet. But this might not be understood by those who haven't gone yet to diet. No, lucky you. Imagine this: you're you are cruising down the highway in your shiny new car, or maybe you're savoring your favorite soft drink on a hot summer day. Have you ever wondered how much of what you pay for these products goes to the government? Well, that's where our friend the excise tax comes in. So excise taxes are like the secret sauce in your burger. Have you eaten a burger? They're a key ingredients that most of us do not think about, but they play a crucial role in shaping our economy and even our behavior. So this evening, uh, thank you for having me. We will unravel the mysteries of excise taxes. We'll explore how they influence prices, why they are essential for public welfare, and the creative ways they are implemented around the world. So from sin tax on sugary drinks and eco taxes on carbon emission, there are a lot there are a lot of astonishing and sometimes even amusing uses of excise tax. So buckle up as we embark on this tax-tastic adventure. So let's dive in. So what is the tax on business, or generally, what is excise tax? So according to excise taxation books and taxation experts, they defined excise tax as a type of tax that is levied on specific goods, activities, and services produced, sold, or imported within the country. So this tax is often included in the price of the product and ultimately passes on to the consumer. So example of excise tax, just overview of how excise tax is being applied. For example, a manufacturer of alcoholic beverages is required to pay excise tax on the production of beer, wine, or spirits. So this tax is typically included in the final price paid by the consumer. So that is the overview of excise tax. Now we have the purpose. Why does the government have to create another kind of tax? We have income tax, we have the VAT. Why does the government still have to create this kind of tax? So this tax is created purposely to raise revenue. So how is tax how is this kind of tax being produced? For example, my friend here, Daniel, is a manufacturer of we say uh, uh, another kind of uh, delicious delicious soft drink. So in that soft drink, uh, aside from the manufacturer's prices, there is a tax included on the price. So that price is what the government is taking. So it is to raise revenue. Without those prices that are included in our daily consumptions, then there would be no beautiful bridges, no beautiful roads like that, no beautiful government buildings. So purposely, this is to raise revenue, and we will those people who are employed in the government won't have salaries, right? So that is number one purpose of excise tax. Another purpose of excise tax is to curtail the consumption of certain commodities. How is this? So excise taxes can help regulate the consumption of certain goods. For example, high taxes on tobacco which aims to reduce smoking waste. Imagine this. What if cigarettes are being sold in the stores, in the local stores, in a very cheap price? So kids will be able to buy such. For example, Marlboro cigarette. No, kids nowadays can have like 200 pesos as their daily allowance. If that cigarette would just cost 5 pesos, then they have the greater chances of buying cigarettes. So what did the government do? It had raised the prices of that cigarette into like 20 per stick, so that the kids will not be able to buy such cigarette just anytime they want, or they won't be capable of buying such at their young age. So that is the purpose of this excise tax. It is to control the consumption of certain goods, of tobacco, what else? Beer, what else? Alcoholic beverages. So they have to raise the prices. Also, if you could observe, Coca-Cola is just how much? 15 pesos for the solo, right? But for the 2x2, I don't know how much is that. It's like more expensive than Coca-Cola. So that is how the government is helping the youth. Oh, the youth. Okay. So what else? To protect domestic industries. So of course they have to allow this kind of taxes to protect the domestic industries. This would be discussed by my co-speakers. Further discussion next time. All right. So what is the nature of Philippine excise tax? Oh my gosh, this is very hard, right? When it comes to taxation, our palm gets sweaty, and oh my god, we are throwing away our money. No, 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 it's not like that. What is the nature of excise tax? First, we have environmental tax. So excise tax is also environmental tax. So how is this? So it is imposed on products which causes harm to the environment when produced or extracted or used. It is also known as green tax. So this is also called a green tax. Example, taxes on carbon emissions or plastic bags. This is to limit also those manufacturers of this dangerous products or these harmful products to a lesser production, like that maybe. All right. My co-speakers will discuss more about this. All right, so what else? We have example of excise tax levied on petroleum products, quarry resources, mineral products. So these are environmental tax, which are referred as tax, so as green tax. So this is also to regulate those mining companies, those quarry resources companies, to observe greater, what do we call that? Greater securities or measures to at least protect the environment. What else? We have sumptuary tax. So as another nature of excise tax, we have sumptuary tax. It is sumptuary in a way that it is imposed to restrain luxury or extravagance. It is also referred as a vanity tax, because not all people can, for example, not all people can buy BMW cars or Louis Vuitton bags. So the greater the amount of the product that a person buys, the greater the excise tax. So somehow privilege tax. What else? We have sin tax. Okay, sin tax. How so? So if is this excise tax kasi is imposed on the consumption of sin products. Sin products, literally sin products. We have alcohol, cigarettes. So those we consider as, or those known to pose health risk. So it is also known as health tax. So as I have told a while ago, so these are to regulate the consumption of these harmful products in our health, like that. So the excise taxes may be imposed on purely punitive grounds or to raise funds to alleviate the damage caused on society by the consumption of the undesirable products. All right, are you still there? Oh my gosh. Tell me if I'm going too fast so that I will slow down. All right. Next, we have indirect tax. How is this so? How is excise tax an indirect tax? Well, it is so because it is levied upon producers or importers with the understanding that he will pass on the same to the consumers. So who actually pays the excise tax? It is the consumers, because when we buy a product, when we buy like this, aside from its original price or the manufacturer's price, it has with it the excise tax. So for example, the manufacturer's price is 10 pesos. Eh, nadagdagan ng 2 pesos. So the 2 pesos is the excise tax of this Yakult product. So, and we are paying for it. The consumers are paying for it. So it is a pass-on tax. It is, yeah, it is indirect. All right. The consumers are not really going to the BIR and this is the 2 peso for the tax of this. No, it is indirectly laid on the consumers. Okay, next slide. It is a consumption tax. So how so? The excise tax is usually levied at the point of production or importation, except excise tax on minerals and cosmetic surgery, which is levied at the point of sale. What else? It is a typical pre-consumption tax compared to other business taxes, which are levied at the point of sale or consumption. So this tax is levied on the production stage or the manufacturing stage of the product. So when it is manufactured, along with it is the excise tax. Okay, next, right? We have excise tax as additional business tax. We have learned about VAT. VAT, that is a business tax, right? So aside from VAT as a business tax, we also have this excise tax. It is also a business tax. All right, so a business normally pays either percentage tax or value-added tax. However, if the business produces or imports excisable goods or sells excisable services, the excise tax is imposed in addition as an additional tax to the usual business tax. So top of the VAT or the percentage tax that we are paying is the excise tax. So look how wonderful taxation is, right? All right, so number 14, we have excise tax as a specific and ad valorem tax. Excise tax imposed in the Philippines are primarily specific taxes, but there are also ad valorem imposition and mix of them. So specific, ad valorem, and the mix of the two. All right, so to view, there are some classifications given by the NIRC. I will just read it for you so that my co-speakers will talk about more details about these things. So we have specific tax. It refers to the tax imposed which is based on weight or volume, capacity, or any other physical unit of measure. Specific tax, these are example of this is imposed on alcoholic beverages also based on the volume or capacity of the bottles or can. So when the thing is placed into a can, or if the unit of the measurement is on a bottle, so like 1 pesos per can, like that. So that is the specific excise taxing of a product. How about ad valorem tax? So there is no unit or the other measurements times selling price of any specific value per unit. So ad valorem tax, it is calculated based on the percentage of the selling price of a value of a good. So it is based on the value of the item. For example, a percentage of the sale price of a vehicle. So from specific tax kanina na it is really specific. So per bottle, there is an allotted excise tax for it. So one bottle costs like 0.50 cents excise tax. But ad valorem tax, it could not be measured by weight. It could not be measured by kilogram or by bottles or by how many items there are, but on the price of the certain good or the certain product. So those are specific tax and ad valorem taxes. What else? We have the sin tax. We have elaborated this a while ago. We have environmental tax and the like. All right, so those are the the overview of excise taxation. So I'm gonna pass it to our friend Shelvin.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Crivel, for that very informative and simple but very understandable discussion about excise taxes. Okay, so let us now move on to specific taxes to be discussed by Ma'am Reinaline.
Hello, good evening. So let's now move forward to the items subject to specific excise tax. As discussed by Ma'am Crivel, the items that are subject to specific excise tax are those which which are based on weight or volume, capacity, or any other physical unit of measurement. So the following are the examples for alcohol products. Number one is the distilled spirits. So distilled spirits mean those are the alcoholic beverages created from the distillation of fermented agricultural raw materials. So why are they called spirits? Because just a fun fact, according to an alchemist, it was emerged as a term to represent volatile substances that got separated in the distillation process. So the beverages that are considered as distilled spirits are whiskey, brandy, rum, gin, and vodka, and also fortified wines. So another example of an alcohol products that are subject to specific excise tax are wines. Next are fermented liquor like beer, lager beer, ale or ale, porter, and other fermented liquors except tuba, pasi, and tapui. Next slide for our tobacco products. Next slide, please. So for our tobacco products, except stemmed leaf tobacco or tobacco byproducts, which are to be exported or used in the manufacture of cigars and cigarettes. So, as a general rule, tobacco products are subject to specific excise tax. However, as a matter of exception, those stemmed leaf tobacco or tobacco byproducts are not included. So it also includes tobacco, especially prepared for chewing, like heated tobacco products and vapor products. Number five is cigars, and number six is cigarettes. So let's go to the heated tobacco products. So what is heated tobacco product? A heated tobacco product refer to tobacco products that may be consumed through heating tobacco, either electrically or through other means sufficiently to release an aerosol that can be inhaled without burning or any combustion of the tobacco. So heated tobacco products include liquid solutions and gels that are part of the product and are heated to generate an aerosol. So one example of this is that e-cigarette or what is widely known as vape. So, pati yung juices nung vape, it is subject to specific excise tax. Now let's go to vapor product. Vapor products shall mean any liquid solution or gel which contains nicotine that transforms into an aerosol without combustion through the employment of a mechanical heating element, battery, or circuit that can be used to heat such solution or gel, and includes but is not limited to a cartridge, a tank, and the device without a cartridge or tank. So as a correction, the e-cigarettes or vape is considered as a vapor product. So let's now go to petroleum products that are subject to specific excise tax. So number 7 is lubricating oils and greases, processed gas, waxes and petroleum, denatured alcohol to be used for motive power, naphtha, regular gasoline, and other similar products of distillation. 12 leaded and unleaded premium gasoline, 13 aviation turbojet fuel, 14 asphalts, those that are used for constructions of roads, 15 kerosene, 16 diesel fuel oil, 17 liquefied petroleum gas, and 18 bunker fuel oil. So for a fun fact, bunker fuel oil are those oil that are used into ships para yun, gumana sila. So next is mineral products, which includes coal or uling and coke. Next, for sweetened beverages, imposes a tax per liter of volume capacity on sweetened beverages. So this is only recent because it was only added because of the train law. So as an exception to sweetened beverages, next slide, the following products are excluded from the excise tax on sweetened beverages. A, all milk products. B, 100% natural fruit juices. C, 100% natural vegetable juices. D, meal replacement and medically indicated beverages. E, coffee, ground coffee, instant soluble coffee, and pre-packaged powder coffee products. So now let's go to the schedule of sweetened beverages. So how is it rated? So using purely caloric sweetener, purely non-caloric sweetener, or mixture or both, the applicable specific tax should be 6 pesos per liter. So while using purely high fructose corn syrup or in combination with any caloric or non-caloric sweetener, the specific excise tax that should be applied is 12 pesos per liter. While if we are gonna use purely coconut sap, sugar, or purely stevia glycosides, it is exempted from being subjected to a specific excise tax. So that's all for my discussion. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ma'am Rain, for your discussion about specific tax. So kaya pa ba? Let us now proceed with the discussion of ad valorem tax naman this time. So let us please call on Sir Daniel Lida. Take it away.
Yes, mabuhay. So next we have ad valorem tax, and these are the items subject to ad valorem excise tax. So here are the basis of ad valorem tax. First, locally produced goods. Locally produced goods imposed with ad valorem tax is subject to tax on gross selling price. Second, imported goods. Unless otherwise specified by law, imported goods imposed with ad valorem tax shall be subject to the same rates and basis of excise taxes applicable to locally manufactured articles. So here are the major classification of excisable articles and related to the caudal section. So first we have alcohol products, which includes distilled spirits, wines, and fermented liquors, as also mentioned by the previous presenter. And also we have tobacco products, which includes cigars and cigarettes and additional inspection fee. Third, we have petroleum products as mentioned in section 148 of the NIRC. And we also have miscellaneous articles, which includes automobiles, non-essential goods, non-essential service, and sweetened beverages, as also mentioned by Rainy Lane earlier. And you also have mineral products. So first we have the distilled spirits and its ad valorem and specific tax. So here this is the what the BIR in its website shows. However, based on the amendment of the NIRC by RA number 11467, the excise tax on distilled spirits is now effective January 1, 2024. Is the ad valorem tax of distilled spirits is now 22% of the net retail price, excluding the excise tax and the value added tax per proof and liter. It is not 20% anymore. And next we have wines. Unfortunately, this is not anymore updated as amended by the new law, which is now we'll come back to that later. And now next we have fermented liquor. So for fermented liquors, the updated ad valorem tax shall be, as of January 1, 2024, shall be 43 pesos per liter. It is this table is not updated, but as per the amendment, the rates of tax imposed under this section for fermented liquors shall be increased by 6% every year, effective January 1, 2025. Also for tobacco products, it is also amended by RA number 11467, and the specific ad valorem tax for tobacco products is amended to effective the latest is effective January 1, 2023. The ad valorem tax for tobacco products is 32 pesos and 50 centavos per pack of 20 units or packaging combinations of not more than 20 units. So, however, for cigarettes, it is also amended by this is latest. So the latest ad valorem tax for this is cigarettes packed by hand. It is 40 pesos. Cigarettes packed by machine, it is also 40 pesos. So as mentioned earlier, there shall be collected inspection fees on leaf tobacco scraps, cigars, cigarettes, and other manufactured tobacco and and tobacco products as follows. So first, for cigars, it is the inspection fee is 0.50 centavos per 1,000 pieces. Second, cigarettes, 10 centavos per 1,000 sticks. And for leaf tobacco, it is 2 cents per kilogram. And for scrap and other manufactured tobacco, it is 3 cents per kilogram. And next, we have, so for petroleum products. So here are the, based on the amendment of the train law, the latest excise tax for petroleum products. So first, for lubricating oils and etc., we have 10 pesos, which includes locally produced or imported oils previously taxed but are subsequently reprocessed, refined, or recycled per liter and kilogram of volume, capacity, or weight. Processed gas per liter of volume, capacity, wax, and petroleum per kilogram. Denatured alcohol to be used for motive power per liter of volume, capacity. Asphalt per kilogram, naphtha, and also naphtha, regular gasoline, and similar products of distillation per liter. And we also have unleaded premium gasoline per liter. So the excise tax for this product shall be, the latest is 10 pesos. However, for kerosene per liter of volume, capacity, it shall be 5 pesos. And for aviation turbojet fuel and for kerosene when used as aviation fuel, it shall be 4 pesos. So next we have so as can be seen by this table, it depends on the kind of fuel. So for example, diesel fuel and liquefied petroleum gas and bunker fuel oil and petroleum coke, its excise tax is 6 pesos. However, for liquefied petroleum gas, it shall be 3 pesos. And for naphtha and when used as raw material, and for liquefied petroleum gas when also used as raw material, and for petroleum coke when used as a feedstock, it shall be 0 pesos. And we also have minerals and mineral products. So this is the latest rates as per the amendment of the train law. So for coal and coke, domestic and imported, it shall be 150 pesos. For non-metallic minerals and quarry resources, locally extracted or produced, it shall be 4% based on the actual market value. And for non-metallic minerals and quarry resources, it shall also be 4%. And here, this is important. For locally extracted natural gas and liquefied natural gas, it shall be exempted. And for all metallic minerals, locally extracted or produced, such as copper, gold, chromite, and other minerals, it shall be 4% on the actual market value of the gross output thereof at the time of removal. And also we have on imported copper, gold, chromite, and other metallic minerals, it shall also be 4%. And on indigenous petroleum, it shall be 6% on the fair international market price thereof on the first taxable sale, barter, exchange, or such similar transaction. And for the purpose of this subsection, indigenous petroleum shall include locally extracted mineral oil, hydrocarbon, bitumen, crude, asphalt, mineral gas, and other similar or naturally associated substances with the exception of coal, peat, bituminous shale, and on stratified mineral deposits. So note, however, in the case of mineral concentrates not traded in commodity exchanges in the Philippines or abroad, such as copper concentrate, the actual market value shall be the world price quotations of the refined mineral products content thereof prevailing in the said commodity exchanges after deducting the smelting, refining, and other charges incurred in the process of converting the mineral concentrates into refined metal traded in those commodity exchanges. And next, we also have the here this is the excise tax imposed on automobiles and other motor vehicles. So for the net manufacture price, importer's selling price, if it's 0 to 600,000% the price of the motor vehicle, under the train law, the rate shall be 4%. If the motor vehicle is valued at 600,000 to 1 million, the rate shall be 10%. However, if your motor vehicle is priced at 1 million peso, 1,100,000 to 4 million pesos, the tax rate shall be 20, the excise tax shall be 20%. And for 4 million and over, the excise tax shall be 50%. So also for we also have non-essential goods. It shall be 20% based on the wholesale price or the value of importation used by the Bureau of Customs in determining tariff and custom duties next net of excise and value-added taxes. We also have sweetened beverages, as also mentioned by Rainy Lane. Under the train law, first we have using purely caloric and this is mentioned earlier. So lastly, we have invasive cosmetic procedures, which is the performance of services on invasive cosmetic procedures. The tax rate shall be 5%. So on automobiles, it is excluding buses, trucks, pickups. On automobiles, it exclude buses, trucks, pickups, because pickups are considered trucks and therefore exempt from excise tax. And also it excludes cargo vans, jeepneys, single cab chassis, special purpose vehicles, and automobiles used exclusively within the free port zones. Provided first, purely electric vehicles and pickups are exempt from excise tax. Hybrid vehicle shall be taxed 50% of the applicable excise tax rates. So we also have non-essential goods, which includes as mentioned earlier, jewelry, whether real or imitation, pearls, precious and semi-precious stones, and imitations, and goods made of or ornamented, mounted, mounted, or fitted with precious metals or imitations thereof, which are except surgical and dental instruments, silver-plated wares, frames or mountings for spectacles or eyeglasses, and it included dental gold or gold alloys and other precious metals used in filling, mounting, or filling teeth. That ends my discussion. Thank you, and I give the floor to Miss Shelvin.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for your very for your discussion. Ang haba-haba ng discussion mo, para. Thank you, thank you. So let us now proceed with next slide. Next slide. Bumalik yun. Ayan. Go. Balik pa. After the non-essential. Yun. So let us now proceed with the mineral products naman. So non-metallic minerals and quarry resources such as marble, granite, volcanic cinders, basalt, tuff, and rock phosphates. Metallic minerals, copper and other metallic minerals, and gold and chromite are also not um, subject to these taxes. So others, indigenous petroleum including locally extracted mineral oil, hydrocarbon gases, bitumen, crude, asphalt, and mineral gases, except those which are locally extracted natural gases and locally extracted liquefied natural gases. Next. So, for the non-essential services naman, added by which is added by the train law, 5% of tax on gross receipts, net of excise tax and VAT, derived from the performance of invasive cosmetic surgeries, procedures, and body enhancements for aesthetic and cosmetic purposes. So 5% po ng gross receipts on these um, surgeries. So the exemptions naman sa non-essential services, 5% din. The following shall be exempt from 5% excise tax. So first is the procedures to ameliorate deformity arising from or directly related to a congenital or developmental defect or abnormality, a personal injury resulting from an accident or trauma, or disfiguring disease, tumor, virus, or infection. So, yung isang example nito, yung anong tawag doon, yung cleft, yung dito sa mouth, kapag mga ganong surgery, so it is exempt from the 5% excise tax. So, second one is treatments covered by the National Health Insurance Program.
Madam, may question ako.
Sige.
Paano kapag pinareto ko yung ilong ko?
Mm.
Accepted ba yun?
Oo. Ay, sabi naman dun sa may kwan, sa mga surgeries, ito, derived from the 5% tax. Yan, the next slide. Ay, the previous slide. Yan. So, 5% tax on gross receipts or net of excise tax sa mga cosmetic surgery. So, feeling ko, yung pag-papaano ng ilong, ano yung tawag doon? Rhinoplasty?
Rhinoplasty.
Yes, it's included dito sa specification na ito.
Mahal pala, no?
Mahal magpaganda. Char. Pero ano naman, the cosmetic department, yung isa namang hindi namamatay sa ano,
Industry.
yeah, sa industry. So, well, mahal magpaganda pero ginagastusan naman ng mga tao.
May tax pa.
Oo, may tax pa. Kailangan makinabang din daw yung ano, yung gobyerno sa pagpapaganda ng mga tao.
At pagpapatangos ng ilong.
Pagpapatangos ng ilong.
Okay.
Next
Thank
slide.
you.
Next pa. Ayan. So, let us now proceed to persons subject to excise tax naman. Kanina, ngayon, person. So, exemptions. Two exemptions. First is domestic products. Generally, the manufacturer or producer of the domestic products shall file the return and pay the excise taxes before the removal of the domestic products from the place of production. So, yun, kailangan i-file niya bago matanggal dun sa place of production. Sabi dito. Tapos, owner or person having a possession of domestic products which were removed from the place of production without payment of the excise taxes or the first buyer, purchaser, or transferee for local sale or transfer in the case of indigenous petroleum, natural gas, or liquefied natural gases. Next slide po. So yun naman, yun yung sa domestic products. Dito naman sa imported products. So the importer shall file the return and pay the tax before the removal of the imported goods from the custom house or custom custody. So kailangang bayaran muna bago makuha from customs. So next is the person who is found in possession of articles which are exempt from excise taxes other than those legally entitled to exemption. Yan. On indigenous petroleum naman, sa local sale, barter, or transfer, yung first buyer, purchaser, or transferee is exempt. Tapos yung exportation, yung owner, lessee, concessionaire, or operator of the mining claim. So, yun po. Let us now proceed with the changes that were made under the train law. Miss Rhea.
Okay, so I will discuss the changes under the train law. So actually napahapyaw na kanina ni Ma'am Crivel. So yung changes lang dito is yung pag-increase ng mga prices ng mga products. So yung una dito is yung cigarettes packed by hand and cigarettes packed by machine. So as discussed a while ago, the intention for imposing the excise tax is for the government to collect revenue, and that is for the public interest. However, on the other hand, um, such imposition is not only for the collection of the revenue, but also to protect the interests of the public. And as we are quite familiar with diseases, now it's quite adverse to the public. And as given an example a while ago was um, children can or teenagers can easily buy cigarettes if they are in the lower price. So in such, the increase is not only for the collection of taxes, but also for the public. And secondly, we have the excise tax increase for the manufactured oils and other fossil fuel oils. For this one, it's the same, but it's focusing more on the environmental damage. So, such imposition will curtail the exhaust of the smog or monoxide that could damage the environment. And then we have the third one, locally manufactured and imported automobiles. So it's the same. If there are like factories within the Philippines, and then kapag ma-manufacture yung mga automobiles, there's still an environmental impact. So yung increase ng excise tax, it's not just for a business. So it's still for the protection of the environment. And that is under the 1987 Constitution. And similarly to domestic and imported coal and coke. And yung fifth one is metallic and non-metallic minerals. For this one, still it's related to environment because for the metallic and non-metallic, it needs the exhaustion of the minerals or natural resources, and such mining will damage the environment. And the and of course the livelihood, because if there's like such mining, it's still related to the livelihood of the people. And then the last one is we have the indigenous petroleum. Basically, since the oil prices is increasing, as we know, we import the no, we receive oil from other countries. So um the local government or the government is trying to find alternatives within the country. So we do have the Malampaya in Palawan, but it's not a self-sufficient. So there are like areas, especially in Mindanao, in which is still under investigation or research on its sustainability, especially for the petroleum. However, the excise tax on this or the increase for the excise tax is indispensable, uh, not only for the environment, but also for uh, it will protect the people within the locality. And then, um, okay, aside from the increase, we have also the exempt from the excise tax. So we have listed here. The first one is the naphtha or pyrolysis gasoline used as a raw material in production or petrochemical products or in the refining of petroleum products as a replacement fuel for natural gas-fired combined cycle power plant. So it's more on use for the production or if not technology. And then yung second one is production of petroleum products, whether or not they are classified as product or distillation and or for solely for production of gasoline. Um, parang against siya sa una kasi a while ago there was an increase of the petroleum, indigenous petroleum. Pero dito, na-exempt siya sa tax, sa excise tax. Pero ginagamit siya sa distillation or for production of gasoline. Meaning, imperative siya para sa mga processing. And then kapag sa distillation kasi, it is used for to clean yung mga other fuels. So instead of exhausting as monoxide, it may turn into like a smog. So meaning it's less less harm to the environment. Therefore, yung production ng petroleum products dito, which is good for the environment, is actually exempt from the excise tax. And then yung pangatlo is liquefied petroleum gas when used as raw material in the production for chemical. And then next. Okay. So in line with that, we have also petroleum coke when used as feedstock to any power generating facility. Na-exempt din ito. And then yung last is purely electric vehicles and then pickups. Yung una, nag-increase ng excise tax yung automobile. Pero dito, kapag hybrid vehicles, na-exempt siya. That's for the reason that compared to the previous one, it releases more pollution. And then, pero dito, it's more environmentally friendly. So, yun yung reason niya kung bakit um, na-exempt siya, yung mga hybrid vehicles, pero still be subject for 50% of applicable excise tax rates on automobiles. So, as we know, hybrid automobiles mainly coming from other countries. And then one reason for the imposition of the 50% is coming from the importation. And then yung last is the Secretary of Finance shall require the use of an official fuel marking of or similar technology on petroleum products refined, manufactured, or imported in the Philippines that are subject to payment of taxes and duties. For this one, it's more on the fairness of the tax imposed on excise tax. So the Secretary of Finance will determine, or it shall determine the kung ano yung mga products na pwedeng i-impose or pwedeng i-exempt. So um not all the products will be subject to the taxes. And then we'll move for the time of payment. Yung time of payment naman is for the determination kung kailan ba i-impose yung excise tax. So next slide, please. And then next one. So kapag domestic products, okay, the excise tax shall be imposed before the removal from the place of production. So kapag yung mga products is andun pa rin siya sa factory, may tax na siya. Kasi kapag inilabas niya, another tax yung mai-impose. So in short, it should be within the owner or the manufacturer kung saan ini-impose yung excise tax. Pero kapag naman dun sa punta tayo sa imported products. Next slide. Pero kapag doon naman sa imported products is before yung release from customs custody. So may tax siya sa pag-enter dito sa Philippines. And then kapag after ng release, ibang tax yung may impose. So may limitation kung kailan i-impose yung tax para hindi ma-double jeopardy yung pag-impose or hindi repeated yung imposition niya. Okay, and last one. So that's all about my report regarding this, the excise tax.
Okay, so
Wow.
thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for your informative discussions.
Oh, may
So
tanong
we will end
sila.
here.
Shelby, may nag-chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Ano daw na-realize ng mga speakers while discussing on excise tax?
Okay. So, guys, what did you
Realization.
realize daw while discussing excise tax?
Ako
Okay, so
na-realize ko sa discussion ni Miss Colingi sa time of payment on imported products. Feeling ko medyo nakakalusot-lusot dyan yung Shopee.
Tama. Tama.
Pansin niyo ba yun? Pero at least mas mura na rin, di ba?
nakakalusot kaya
Napansin
mura
ko
sa
lang
atin.
yun.
Pero
Na-realize ko lang. Kasi di ba usually din ng ibang binibili doon sa app na yun is from Shenzhen something. Pero hindi pa siya natataksan. So sana may gawing step si BIR para hindi nila inaagorin yung Pilipinas. Charot.
Sabagay.
Ayun. So, kayo, ano na-realize nyo?
Na-realize ko, hindi talaga nakakalusot ang mga Pinoy sa taxes. Everything, no? Grabe. At magtitipid na ako ngayon. Grabe
Ako
talaga.
naman, um parang reasonable naman yung kasi 'di ba noon nung lumabas yung sin tax, yung pagtatax sa cigarettes and liquor, ganun ang dami-daming backlash, ang dami-daming reactions from the people na bakit daw ganto 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 ganto, pero it's reasonable naman na parang tinatax kasi ng gobyerno yung bisyo. So parang
Mm.
kasi 'di ba
Tama.
it is a way of parang regulating din yung
Yes.
pagbibisyo ng mga proponents ay ng mga member ng society. So parang reasonable din naman for the government to do that.
Tama.
Natuloy ba
Tapos,
yung may pinapos kasi yung isang senator na like extra rice ay may, ano yun?
May
Ah,
excise tax na rin.
yun
Extra
lang.
Yung
rice.
pagka mag-extra rice ka, eh, may greater balance. Parang hindi,
Mm.
no? Parang wala naman.
Wala, pero parang ano yun, na-propose yata.
Oo,
Parang, oo, some years
pero
ago.
hindi natuloy.
Parang hindi natuloy.
Previously lang.
Mm-mm.
Oo nga. So, basically, parang yung discussion na to, na-increase yung awareness natin sa mga bagay-bagay.
Mm-mm.
Na
True.
everything that we buy, everything that we consume, may kalagip
May
na excise
tax.
tax.
May VAT
Eh,
na, may
may
excise
VAT,
tax
may
pa.
excise tax, may percentage tax. And
True.
it's giving back to the government
Yeah. True din.
para
Correct.
Si Daniel, malaki yung excise tax na binayaran yan eh.
Correct.
mamahalin kasi mga
Sorry,
gamit
wala
ni
kaming
Daniel.
ilaw.
Oo.
Kaming ilaw.
Ay, nawalan ka
Wala.
ng ilaw?
Brown out kami.
Nani?
Ewan ko.
Ay, alright. So, yeah, it's
Ikaw,
a fun
Miss
discussion.
Colingi,
Oh,
baka
sige,
may
sige.
realization ka.
Sa akin, hindi, para sa basic salary, mataas siya, pero kung i-compare mo din sa yung effect niya. Anyway, yung mga excise tax naman is yung hindi masyadong basic commodities. So,
Yes.
fair lang siya.
Actually.
And then actually, yung excise tax or even like yung VAT, hindi siya masyadong regulated kasi um, yun yung nabanggit nyo kanina na Shopee.
Oo,
Hin-
tama.
And then, hindi lang yun kasi may mga smuggled products. Of course,
Tama.
hindi yun
Mm-mm.
matataksan kasi smuggled nga. So, sekreto siyang pinupunta
Pinapasok.
pinapasok sa Philippines. So, in short, actually the excise tax or other taxes in which the Philippine government imposes is quite beneficial. Pero yung problem is yung the regulation and then paano nila makontrol kasi actually ang hirap,
Tama.
'di ba? Ang hirap siyang
Feeling, feeling ko kasi yung prioritize nila na i-regulate dito yung minention ni Miss Calpi,
mm,
yung sin taxes. Kaya yung mga other na, kunyari yung sa importation, ayun, hindi na siya na-regulate.
And hopefully, one day, ma-regulate din natin.
Yes.
Oo,
Sayang
kasi
din yung
yun,
mga excise taxes.
kasi yun naman piman yung most especially kasi 'di ba parang yung sa customs officers, ganun. Syempre meron at meron kasing mga inside hindi naman sa nagbabato tayo ng accusation
Yes.
pero parang meron kasing mga inside man na parang syempre hindi naman
Yes.
ganun kadaling mag pasok lang ng mga products kung walang mga from inside customs and mga government kung sana piman yung mga customs officers and all others kat makifollow sila sa mga regulation para talagang pro-government lahat. Eh di, mas madali for the national government to
Yeah.
overlook lang.
Hopefully, once na ma-realize ng karamihan na citizenry ng Philippines yung kung saan napupunta yung excise tax, sana
Mhm.
maging compliant din sila.
Yes.
Na-appreciate ko lang din. Okay, dun pala.
yung
So, okay
excise
lang pala. Yung excise.
yung excise tax ginamit doon sa likod ng UC.
Tama.
Oh,
Nakita
okay.
nyo?
Yung kalsada.
Yung kalsada.
Yes, and it's a good thing. I really like yung aura ni Daniel now.
Mukha siyang kalbo. Ayun.
Okay. So let us end it here
Yes.
na. Let us end it here.
Yes,
Thank you
such a
so much
great
for
one.
listening and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about our discussion on excise tax and in-depth the percentage taxes, the ad valorem taxes, and everything. So thank you so much.